Okay, so here we are once again. Sold some other notebooks to get one that's popped up available for sale, and it had been for a while, and availability was going down. I was getting a little worried, so I finally sold some notebooks to get this new one. I'm paring down, trying to cut down as many notebooks as I have. Kind of developed a collection because I was getting different sizes to, test out different inserts that I've been creating. So now that I have those sizes, I can kind of cut down what I have. But this is my catch-all at the moment. Well, not catch-all. This new one that I just got is from Naya Paperie, by the way. It's going to be more of my business work planner. This is more like home, personal stuff. But if I can merge all that into the new one, then I will use this more as my wellness and spiritual type of stuff. I already took it out of the bag. I haven't opened the box yet. It did come in this box. I didn't want to show my information, of course. It usually just comes wrapped in the dust bag and everything, so I've never gotten one in the box. I mean, the box is a little beat up from customs, but that's fine. So this is supposed to be a personal wide ring bound in white snake. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go back and ring bound at all. I mean, I had been testing the waters going back and ring bound, and the only one that was left was for personal wide, and I wasn't too sure if I was gonna like it, so we'll see. I think I should like it. Okay. And here's a dust bag, nice pink dust bag. So let's take this out. Okay, so let's see. Ooh. And here she is. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? The spine is pretty wide. I think that the rings on the inside are only 25 millimeter rings, and I want to see if I could try to switch them out with my 30 millimeter, but we'll see. So it comes with is this white? Yeah, it looks like white. Elastic closure. The texture, it's weird. It's soft, but it's like, let me smell it. Definitely has a different type of smell than the other leather. It's soft, but it has like a semi-matte feel to it. And it is embossed, so it's not real snakeskin, it's just embossed leather. And it's got, let's see the inside. So it doesn't look as wide as I thought it would. I was thinking it was going to look really wide and the proportions were going to bother me, but it really doesn't look that bad. And it comes with the extra elastics and, of course, the freebie stickers. Put that aside. And let me see. The rings. Just a teeny tiny bit of gapping, but not a big deal. Now, I was told I can unscrew these, because if you see these, can you see it in the camera? I was told by a group, or one of the members in the Naya Paperie group on Facebook, that I can just unscrew these. Like, these aren't the same as like your recollections or anything like that. So we'll see, because if I can unscrew them, then I can use this access here at the bottom to put at least a couple elastics in, and then I can put my Vanderspex 30 millimeter rings in. So it's got, the secretarial pocket back here. And then I've got, just a standard pocket set up here. And then this does have the big back pocket, and you can see, let me see if I can, yep. You can see the reinforced spine on the inside, which I've never had one of the ring bound planners before, so that's a really wide reinforced spine, which is pretty neat. Okay, so I've got a couple things here. I've got these pliers. These are I use for charm making and stuff. Here's a regular needle nose with some random faux fur on it. That's lovely. And then I have some wire nippers. So that is in case whatever's underneath that come out. I could try to remove those. We'll see. So I'm going to, I don't know if I need to open the rings. See, see if I can get in the camera. You see this right here? I'm going to try to use this to kind of grip and unscrew. Okay, finally got that out. That one just seemed to take forever. So I'll keep these. And then now this just lifts right out. You know, I did scratch it pretty bad, but what's cool is it didn't damage the ring mechanism at all. Pretty neat. So I will close these and put these aside. Now what I'm left with are these, and what's cool is the way they're wiggling in there. It doesn't feel like it's attached to any cardboard or anything in there, so, but they are, if you can tell, they're embedded though in here. And I'm like, I wonder if I widened the holes a little bit, if I could wiggle it out without hurting the. Okay, so here is the screw that was inside the planner right here. As you can see, it's just the hole that they had put there initially. And I basically kind of just took the screw here and I kind of wiggled it around a little bit to separate it a little bit, widen the hole a little bit at a time just so it can you know, ease its way out. And then I took my pliers and just kind of, like I said, not too much to where it's gonna hurt the leather or anything. That sounds bad, that's just my pliers. So kind of just, and you'll see in the side here, I don't know if you can see it, it's starting to come right out. Easy peasy. All right. So not too bad. So I didn't have to do any cutting or anything like that. And there's really no damage to the leather. I mean, you can put little breads in there or something, or a little, you know, you can put a sticker over it if it really bothers you. But if you're gonna put rings in it again, like I am, just bigger rings, you're not gonna notice it. And usually, since even if you are using it as a traveler's notebook, you can, I mean, the strings are gonna be right there, your inserts are gonna be covering it anyway. Looks like there's some excess glue here or something like that from the rings that I can clean off, but that's no big deal. So yeah, nothing poking out or anything that's dangerous. Really easy. They didn't have anything glued underneath to attach these to. So I'm going to put these aside because I could very easily, if I wanted to put these back in, just maneuver the bottom back underneath here again and screw them back in. So no big deal on that. Pretty cool. So I'm going to put these in the box actually. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to I'm going to clean that up a little bit here in a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my punch and see if I can wiggle it in there enough to get at least 3 holes like a standard traveler's notebook, and then I'll be able to get my 30mm rings in there. So I will be back. Well, for some reason I was unable to find my small hole punch. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm going to have to use, what the heck is this called? It's a pointy tool. I use it a lot to poke holes when I put snaps in clothing and in diapers and stuff like that. So I know this has a name, but I can't remember. So I'm going to use this very carefully to poke my holes that way. I don't usually like using this because when I use my hole punch, I get a nice, you know, uniform. I can't show you because this one has a back pocket, but it's got a nice uniform, nice size hole. It's, well, not too big, but you know, the elastic goes through easier. So basically just gonna, and this is gonna be tough too because it's leather. I'm gonna slowly but surely, and if you can see how I'm placing my fingers so I don't stab myself, just gonna twist, and I'm going underneath the stitching. I'm being sure not to do this on the stitching. So this is gonna be a pain. Slowly but surely, there you go. Okay, and you're just gonna kinda, you wanna wiggle it back and forth and maybe turn it just a little bit to kind of loosen up the leather, because like I said, we're going to be putting elastics through here and it's going to be pretty difficult to do that with this small little hole and this size elastic that I have. So there is one down, and let me do the other ones and I'll be back. Okay, something I wanted to point out real quick. When you come to the part at the bottom that has this little opening, you want to be sure that you don't go just straight through, and you take your time and go through very slowly. You're going to have to go at a slight angle so that you don't punch through the back. I mean, unless you don't care about, you know, having the elastic go through this part on the back but not the top part. I mean, that's all up to you, but aesthetically to me that's not very pleasing. So you just want to make sure that when, I'll show you here, I move my finger out of the way so I don't stab myself as best I can. Well, I gotta hold it open, so let me kind of, you just want to slowly twist. Can you see that? And I'm going at an angle. You can slowly see it come through the back, and that's when you really want to pay attention. I'll reposition my finger now that I know where it's coming out, get a better grip, and you can see it's not penetrating through the back. All right, again, I'll be back. Okay, so I have my holes punched. I'm going to measure out my elastic, and what I like to use, especially since these holes are so damn small, it would usually be a little bit easier, but I like to use this needle here. It's for, I forget what it's called, but basically it's one of the type of needles that you would use for yarn and the plastic mesh crafts. I like to use this to pull the elastic through. I kind of, let me see if I can demonstrate. Where do I want to start? We'll start in the middle. So again, I have to kind of, this is a bigger needle, so it's going to widen out a little bit more, especially here on the end. That's going to be a pain in the butt. So I'm going to push this as far through as I can. You might, if you have one of those thimbles, might want to use something like that. If not, I try to take at the end here and wiggle it through. Let me do that and I'll be back. Okay, what I did is, to save my fingers, I used my pliers to wiggle it through. So now when we have it, let me see, at this point where the biggest portion is through here, I have my loop right here. I put this thickness thread on here just because it holds up more to tugging and stuff like that, and you'll see here in a minute. So what I do is I take the end of the elastic and I put it through like this. Okay, Now, hold these together, and as I pull this through, if it's gonna do it, it might take a second. Okay, so now we have our string through. I'm going to pull this through the hole, and it might take some finagling, and this looks really rough. So if you're cringing, I apologize, but I promise you I'm not hurting anything. And give me 1 second because this is hard to do on camera. Okay, I'm going to show you, I feel, a less invasive way of doing this if your holes are small like this. And we're going to do the same method. I'm going to take my two ends and I'm going to put them together here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is, well, first off, I'm going to stick it in the hole. So push the ends together and we're going to put it right, wiggle it in there as much as we can. Okay, and pull this through a little bit. Okay, so now we have our loop. We're going to stick this elastic through. Now this would work probably a lot easier with thinner elastic, but I don't like how they hold in inserts or anything like that. So now it's holding it here. Now here's part of the reason why I usually like using stronger thread, is just because of the fact that it holds up better to tugging. So I'm going to, as best as I can, work it through. Oh, and see, there we go. Hold it right through. Okay. And we're just gonna do that through each hole. So I will be back. Okay, another thing that you can do too is if you're having a hard time, like this access point, it's not wanting to go through the hole from the inside. So I'm just gonna use a smaller sewing needle and go in, there we go, and get the string through. There we go. A lot easier. Now I'm going to string this elastic through. Okay, I wanted to go ahead and just show this part real quick. I've got main elastic, or one of the elastics through essentially. I do mine a little bit differently. I don't do all 3 strings at once, just because it's easier for me to just, you know, in here, out through here, then back in and tie, and then do the same thing on the other side. It gives you another elastic to play with, or maybe it doesn't, I don't know, but it's just easier for me to string mine that way. So you don't have to do it like the normal method of stringing all the strings at once. This just gives you another option if you do plan on doing this. Okay, so I had to clear some memory off of my camera and everything, but here's the finished product. I know I put the rings in and everything without showing you, but there's a bunch of tutorials on YouTube already that show how to put rings in elastics. I probably don't even do it the right way. This is just what works for me. So yeah, that was the switch out. And of course, like I said, with the rings in, you can't even see the holes, and if you decide not to use rings and just use the elastics, the inserts will cover them anyway. So just a side note though, I don't know if you can tell, if you're gonna, one of the other reasons why I don't like using regular thread to pull elastics through is they can beat up your fingers quite a bit. They can actually cut through your fingers. So if you're gonna try to do it, I would wear gloves of some sort, maybe sewer's gloves or something. But lucky me, I've, you know, from cutting hair and doing crafts and all sorts of stuff, I've got pretty calloused fingers as it is. So the cut that I got was basically just through callus and not through my actual finger, which is nice. So I'm gonna put these away. But yeah, once I have my setup and everything, I'll definitely show you guys that. Next thing I'm gonna do is just change out this elastic, which is easy. I don't have to punch any holes, and you just go through the main pocket to do it. So there's that tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys next time. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment down below, or direct message me, however you like, and I will catch you guys later. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.